Imagine a galaxy where hope is a memory, where stars burn in the void and civilizations rise and fall like fleeting dreams. Picture yourself not as a soldier, not as a hero, but as a silent witness to the infinite war that stretches across 10,000 years. In this story, you will journey from the birth of the Imperium to the dark shadows of the far future, where heroes fight, empires crumble, and every soul is tested. You may fall asleep as the tale drifts you into dreams, yet the weight of valor, sacrifice, and despair will linger. This is the story of the galaxy in flames, of men and gods, of monsters and legends, a story that asks not who wins, but who survives. The stars were young, bright, and full of promise. Humanity reached for them with trembling hands, unaware of the darkness that awaited. On Terra, the Emperor of mankind began his grand plan, a dream of unity, of civilization spanning the galaxy. He created legions of space marines, each a symbol of unwavering devotion, each destined to leave a mark upon history. The Great Crusade was a time of hope. Planets once isolated were connected, people once scattered were brought into the embrace of the Imperium. Cities of gold rose on alien worlds, and banners of the Emperor flew proudly over conquered territories. Among the legions, primarchs, titanic sons of the Emperor, led armies with courage unmatched. Their victories inspired songs and tales, yet in the shadows, envy and ambition stirred. Horus, the War Master, the most trusted of all the Emperor's sons, was seduced by whispers from the dark. Chaos, a malignant force beyond comprehension, promised freedom, power, and dominion. Slowly, subtly, he betrayed his father and the ideals he once held dear. Brothers turned against brothers. Battles of incomprehensible scale raged across star systems, tearing the fabric of the galaxy apart. You, the silent observer, feel the tension as Terra itself becomes a battlefield. The Siege of Terra is unlike anything seen before. Loyalists fight desperately to protect the throne, traitors wield powers that defy reason. Cities burn. Oceans boil. Children hide in catacombs beneath cities as their world is torn apart. The Emperor himself confronts Horus aboard the War Master's flagship. A father and son, locked in a battle that decides the fate of billions. Sacrifice is absolute. Love and betrayal collide, and though the Emperor emerges victorious, the cost is unimaginable. The galaxy mourns, and humanity enters an age of vigilance and fear, learning that victory is never without its shadow. Even as new threats rise, orcs, tyranids, and the silent, creeping menace of the Necrons, humans cling to hope. The Primarchs, scattered and broken, rebuild legions, forge new alliances, and carry forward the vision of the Emperor, but the scars of betrayal remain. This is the first lullaby of war, a story of rise and fall, a reminder that even in light, darkness waits. The centuries pass like drifting asteroids. The Imperium is vast, yet fragile, constantly under siege from foes beyond imagination. In the void, fleets of alien warships stalk human convoys. On distant worlds, tyrannid swarms devour all in their path, leaving only silence. The forces of chaos never rest, spreading corruption, fear, and despair wherever they roam, yet humanity endures. Sisters of battle, courageous and devout, stand against the impossible, holding faith as their shield. Space Marine chapters, remnants of the old legions, fight with honor and ingenuity. Even ordinary men and women, civilians in the midst of ceaseless war, find courage where none should exist. Among these heroes, small acts of bravery ripple into legend. A single commander holding a bridge, a medic saving lives under fire, a child hiding in ruins discovering strength in survival. These moments define the resilience of the human spirit. In the grim darkness of the far future, hope is fragile, but it flickers. Planets lost to chaos are retaken. Tyrants fall. The Emperor watches silently, a guiding presence in the shadows, reminding those who still fight that no matter how infinite the war seems, every act of courage matters. As you drift through this story, imagine the endless stars above, each a witness to a story, each a reminder that even in despair, life persists. Wars rage, empires crumble, and heroes are forged in the crucible of suffering, but humanity, in all its imperfection, continues. The galaxy is vast, but the heart that beats in the darkness is unstoppable. By the end, as your eyes grow heavy, remember this: even when the universe is burning, even when the odds are insurmountable, even when despair seems eternal, there is always a spark of light. There is always someone who refuses to yield. And in that refusal, the greatest victories are won, not just in war, but in courage, hope, and the will to endure. Sleep now, as the galaxy turns, as battles rage unseen, and as heroes, both great and small, carry on, for the story of Warhammer 40K is not merely about war. It is about survival, resilience, and the eternal flame of hope that even darkness cannot extinguish.